We're Jack and Cheryl Rothenflew, and we direct the Pastoral Care Ministry of Commission Every Nation, which is an international, interdenominational ministry helping local churches get missionaries on the field. Our entire purpose of being is to help missionaries stay on the field and help local churches send them there. And so because of that, our focus isn't on what they do, it's who they are. The entire ministry of Commission Every Nation has to do with keeping healthy those who are sent and encouraging the local churches to encourage that as well. While we're here at the mission in the offices, we stay in touch with our missionaries across the world, in almost every continent of the world, either by telephone or email, on the computer through Skype, and we also make personal visits to the country of their service.
We both spend a lot of time encouraging the missionaries and helping them stay on the field as long as God's called them to be there.
We have discovered that pastoral care is critical for people on the field for a lot of reasons. First of all, of course, they're isolated from their home country. They are in a country that does not only speak their language, but they also don't have their customs. And so it's quite an adjustment to try, even though they are falling in love with this other people group, it's quite an adjustment to be able to have an experience with them that's meaningful, and so they find themselves isolated. And a lot of times when missionaries leave the country, they sort of are out of sight and out of mind for a lot of people, and we've discovered that we need to fill those gaps in to let them know they are cared about, they are remembered, they are important, because we've discovered that many people leave the field prematurely, partly because they don't get cared for from America like they deserve.
When we go, especially when we see couples, Jack will visit with the husband, and they'll maybe go off and have some coffee and talk about the ministry, and he gets a real feel for what's happening in the ministry. I, on the other hand, will stay and talk to the wife, and she tells me her heart. And so I have said on many occasions, Jack goes and gets the facts, and I get what's really happening on the field. By both of us doing this, we get a real picture of how they're doing, not just one part of it. And so that's, to me, has helped make our ministry complete.
Being in this position has opened our eyes to the variety that God has out there who is called to do work on the mission field. And the word missionary just means one sent by God for a particular purpose. And we used to think the missionary was in the grass hut, mud floors in the midst of Africa, and we would go, that's a missionary. But we recognize that in order for us to do our work full time, we can't have a full-time job. And one of the neat things that I think about Commission Every Nation and requiring us to raise our own support is that it frees up all of those funds to go directly to our missionaries that serve God in the foreign field.
And so we're on support, our director's on support, our founder is on support. And we have all come to realize that God does supply what we need, and we enjoy having the opportunity to have other people partner with us in this ministry by financially helping us. And they have a part through us. They get to hear about a lot of different ways God is using people in very unique ways on the field to spread the gospel.
And as usual, God knows what He's doing, because one of the things having a raise your own support does is it keeps you humble, because you recognize that every month, whatever salary you get comes from the hands and the hearts of people and churches who love you and want you to do what God's called you to do. And without partners in the local churches or individuals, we would not be doing our ministries. The very day that stops, our ministry stops. It is 100% directly related to people who really support what we're doing in pastoring these missionaries all over the world. Having been a pastor for over 2 decades, I really do believe I understand the pastor's heart. And it's a real joy getting to know these pastors who send our missionaries on the field, and to help them not only in connecting to their missionaries, but even working with them in the difficulties of their own life and ministry, for which I am very well acquainted. What our hope and dream is in the future is we can add some more pastoral couples to serve our missionaries on the field. and we can more easily be able to have opportunities to share with our pastors the heart that we have for them and missions and their missionaries, because it's very important for the local church to extend care as well to the missionaries. And we want to encourage that, not only their relationship with their personal missionary, but how can we help you in the local church with your missions ministry? We might have ideas and resources, and we want to be available for that purpose.
Also, I want to continue helping the missionaries in any way we can from here. Sometimes they can't spend 4 or 5 hours on the computer because they're in an internet cafe that costs money, or they don't have any connections. And so I do a lot of the research for them, but I would like to continue that and do more and supply them with information that will help them. I also would like to do more with what they call MKs, which are missionary kids, keeping them healthy and whole, giving the parents some ideas of how they can continue to nurture these children so they don't resent the fact they've lived in another country and not been in America. When they get older, that they realize that the life that they've had has been enriching to them, and help them also when they come back to America know how to deal with Americans, because that's a big problem that sometimes children have if they've lived on the field all their life. When they get back to America, they have a lot of re-entry issues to deal with. And so I'm continually finding research and information and filtering that to the missionaries so they can prepare their children when they come back. Since 2000, we have learned a lot, and we just look forward to many more years of helping the missionaries, helping them stay on the field, giving them encouragement. This is what we do and what we enjoy and love about this work.
I guess one of our highlights is visiting them on the field, whether it's in Albania or Russia or Germany or deepest parts of Africa. It's an exciting thing to visit them on the field. The number one purpose of our visit on the field is to bless them. We do everything we can while we were there to really bless them. There is the issue of accountability, and we do report back to their local church what we found while we were doing the visit. But for the most part, the reason we are there is only to bless them. And some missionaries are really surprised that that's the number one reason we go. But for us, it's a real joy.